Hey everyone, it's Cody. We're back for week 2. Several of you emailed me about the links this week that don't work in the uh, from the homepage here. Um, this is a brand new course that just got developed, and this is the first semester for it. It is a statewide online course, so all of them are the same. So there's going to be some hiccups. I have emailed the course developer about that, so hopefully they will fix the link. I know it's about sort of formatting and that sort of thing. If you would like some resources on formatting, the best place to do it is the Purdue OWL. I think that's what it links to anyway. If you just Google Purdue OWL MLA, you'll find a sample paper, how to cite some sources there, how to format your document. So Purdue OWL MLA, just Google that and you'll find the same thing. Okay, so this week we're moving on to Module 2. We have several assignments here, but not as many as last time. Some of you also asked, you have not got the book yet. I don't know that there's a digital copy for this one, unfortunately. I've not been able to locate it. Just keep in mind that I accept late work, so if you get your book in the next week or two and you want to make up that backlog of work, please do so. You'll get credit for that. And I guess have this serve as a lesson to get your book before the semester starts in this new online environment. I know some of you had mentioned maybe you hadn't used a textbook before in some of your classes, even if it was assigned, and that's unfortunate for starters, but the online environment definitely uses more textbooks. It sort of supplements what we do face to face. So depending on where we are in the fall, a lot of your courses are still going to be online because of the coronavirus, and so just keep that in mind moving forward. Okay, so this week we're going to focus on the concept of drafting, right? And so you have this creative play journal here. You're going to read in the textbook from 36 to 44 on drafting, and the idea here with drafting, when you're writing something, it should go through multiple drafts. It's just like writing an essay, right? You write a rough draft. Creative work works a little differently. It might be even more intensive, honestly, when you create something and then sort of you can revise for content. So that means, either cutting some or adding some to your work, or doing a combination of both of those things. And then, of course, editing, that sort of thing as well. So those are things that to keep in mind as you're reading here, okay? There are a list of activities on pages 44 to 47. You can choose one of those, and you're going to draft and edit a creative work of any genre, right? So again, no word count here. You're going to focus on the number of words. Instead of focusing on the number of words, you want to compose something that's interesting and well crafted, all right? And again, I'm sorry that this link probably doesn't work. I have feelers out to try to get this corrected and what to do, but keep in mind that what you're doing here, to format, just use the Purdue OWL MLA and we can go from there. So that's the first assignment, is this week's journal. You do have a discussion this week. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be reading a poem by Samuel Green. It's on 274, and then also a short story by Sherwood Anderson starting on 214. You're going to read both of these at least once and maybe more. They're not too long. You have a week, obviously, to do this, so keep that in mind before writing your initial post, okay? And then you're going to respond with these questions. Okay, you're going to answer these questions about these two works of creative works. And then here, this is where the word count comes in, right? So you're gonna reply to the thread with a response, 250 to 300 words, and then your peers replies. You're gonna wait. I would really hope that you post your first post by Thursday at the latest. That way, it'll give you the rest of the week to kind of comment on your peers' posts, and they can comment on yours as well. And those should be, you need 2 of them, so 2 different replies. And I say this a lot, but replies, so if someone replies to your peer, to your post, replying to them doesn't count. You need to engage in their conversation as well, okay? So you need to reply to 2 initial posts from your peers, okay? So that's the second assignment for this week. reading, some good reading with Samuel Green and Sherwood Anderson. There's an optional creative play here, and then the main crux, the big assignment here, is your creative work for poetry. So the purpose of this exercise is to demonstrate your ability to write poetry. It is more than a learning activity. It is the first step in the process towards an assessment. So the next step is you're going to get peer review and feedback from me. And so here's what you're going to do. You're going to choose 2 of the activities listed in the Your Moves section from 151 to 155, 2 that you haven't yet tried. And then there's no need to indicate which ones you choose. I have access to the textbook, obviously, and I can check that, and it doesn't really matter which direction you end up going either, because they're merely prompts. So you might end up being inspired and taking it some completely different way, okay? So this assignment asks you to draft and edit 2 poems, right? Following those prompts. And again, there's no word count. Poems don't have to rhyme, right? They can if you want, but that's challenging. And sometimes it can be kind of silly. So keep that in mind. So you're going to submit that by the end of Module 2, so the end of this week on Sunday night. And then you're going to keep that, right? You're going to submit that next week for your workshop discussion, okay? So just keep that in mind. Keep a file on hand, because that is the work you're going to submit for peer review next week as well. Okay, so those are the assignments for this week. Like I said, I'm sorry that the course resources don't work. I'm working on that, but they are basically the Purdue OWL. So if you Google Purdue OWL MLA, you can find formatting and documentation there. All right. If you ever have questions, please just send me an email, and I'll do my best to answer them. Have a good week, and enjoy the weather out there. It's supposed to be kind of warm. So stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week.